Hello guys, welcome to Can I Cook It? I'm Matt, and welcome back to this next episode of the series, where I'm going to be making risotto with a very important friend of mine. Want to come here?
Sure.
This is Dr. Heidi Ham. She's been the reason
Hello.
why I was able to run this show in the first place. With the help with her house and equipment, I was able to make this possible. And she's actually going to be guiding me to make risotto. What is a risotto exactly?
Well, interestingly, so risotto is an Italian dish, and it's made from arborio rice, and this is a special rice. It started out in northern Italy,
All right.
but now, it used to be northern Italy, that was risotto, rice, and southern Italy was pasta, but now you'll find it throughout Italy.
Of course.
Mhm.
When you have a country that's united and stuff like that, yeah, it makes sense.
Mhm.
So what are the ingredients for risotto? The ones we're working on with that right now.
Okay, well, that's a very good question. So you can make risotto as elaborate as you'd like, or it can be a peasant dish.
All right.
And it can be, very simple. But really the point is that you have quality, beautiful ingredients that you put together, and so it can be simple.
All right.
So in this case, we'll use arborio rice, butter, shallots, Parmesan cheese, and wine.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we want to get ready and get this started?
Sure.
All right. Let's cook this risotto. So Heidi, how do we start this?
Okay, the first thing that we're going to do is put in the butter.
All right. This amount?
Yeah.
All right.
Olive oil,
Okay.
and let that melt,
Okay.
and then we'll add the shallots.
All right. Tell me how
Just
much.
turn it upside down and hold it there for about 5 seconds.
All right. 1,
And-
2,
yeah.
3, 4,
Beautiful.
5. All right.
And we're doing this a real Italian way. So we're using locatelli as kind of our guide, but
All right.
there's a real art to making risotto, and it's an art, it's a science, and it's also very therapeutic. So
Indeed.
okay, so go ahead and start stirring that.
All right. Stirring the butter.
Mhm.
I just spread
Yeah,
it out.
and so we spend a lot of time stirring, and this is something that you can make, and Locatelli even says if people just turn up unexpectedly, at your home, you can just make a risotto, use some ingredients that you have, if you have leftover vegetables, and as you stir, you can chat, and next thing you know, you'll have a dish ready to be prepared, and you can all share it together.
All right. Cool.
Okay, so go ahead and put in about half of the shallots.
Half of the shallots.
Mhm.
All right. So.
And you can use a wooden spoon again. And
Oh,
just
okay.
kind of-
Yeah. Thanks for the recommendation.
Sure.
As someone that's, even though I host the show, I'm not actually good at cooking.
Well, you're
Just-
learning.
Yeah.
Every week you're improving.
That's the whole
yeah,
point,
that's the
isn't
whole
it?
point. Yeah,
We just get all
point
this
of the
stuff.
show.
All right. Is this enough?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's beautiful. Okay,
All right.
so stir that.
All right.
So I think one of the best experiences that I had making risotto, well, Dylan was there too. We rented a villa with our friends in Positano. It's on the Amalfi Coast of Italy. And we needed to get our ingredients, and so we walked to this little village, and they had a beautiful squash, but it was the length of this whole island. It was giant. And
Makes me want to go to Italy.
Yes. And so we just said we'd like some of that, and they chopped it off, brought it home. We made our homemade chicken broth together with the risotto, with the arborio rice, and all of the ingredients from this little town. And it was, I think we made it for like 10 people,
Nice.
and it was beautiful. Mhm.
So is this enough?
Yes. So the main thing is we don't want to brown this.
Okay.
So keep stirring.
All right.
That looks beautiful. So the main idea is that we don't want to have the shallots become brown,
All right.
because that won't look aesthetically pleasing when we have the risotto.
Aesthetics always are a part of like everything, aren't they?
Absolutely.
All right. We're going to put this amount of broiled rice in in this pot. And what did you say, Dr. Heidi, about this? How we deal with this?
So
Right.
you'll stir it until you toast it.
All right.
And you'll know that it's toasted when the grains are white.
Okay.
You'll start to see that it will turn white.
All right. So this is a long process, isn't it? Right?
Well, it is a process, but it doesn't feel long when you're chatting with friends.
Nice. So we'll probably be chatting a lot with.
Oh yeah, we're going to be chatting a lot. And now, actually, so we would like at this stage to add more butter.
Oh really?
Mm-hmm.
How much are we talking about?
I'd say add half of that.
Add half of the butter that we have. Okay. 1 second. All right. Let me just add this in here, and I'll stir it more. So this episode of Can I Cook It is going to be more of like a stirring episode, like where the feature is stirring, and more stirring. Is that right, Dr. Heidi?
Well, yes, and actually, then we not only are we stirring, but we're adding chicken broth and wine, and I'll get to that in a moment.
All right, cool.
And so there's all different types of risotto that you can make. So you can add, like some people like mushrooms, other people like to add asparagus. But because we may have some people today in our audience that prefer plain, we won't add everything in the risotto, and we'll have it on the side.
All right.
But we will have the Parmesan, and it will be very creamy, and it will be a beautiful base.
Yeah.
From which to develop your other kind of dishes in the future.
Just want you to know, Can I Cook It is filmed in front of a live studio audience, if you count like someone's house as a studio. So.
And people here.
Yep, indeed. Mm-hmm. So how long do I have to keep doing this until like progress is made?
Okay, so if you look closely, do you see that the grains are turning a different color?
Yes.
Do you see that some of them look white?
Yeah.
Okay, so you want that look for all of the little grains there.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So just take your time and relax.
Cool thing.
So now it's time to add the wine. And so today we chose Sauvignon Blanc from New Zealand. But we really just want to pour in a nice pour in the beginning, because you don't want to add wine at the end of the dish where you could taste the alcohol or it could be harsh in any way. So, but don't be shy. Really just pour it in and know that it's going to do some beautiful things. So go ahead.
Let me know when it's enough.
Yeah. No, that's just
okay. Oh, okay. Like this?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. You take more there. There you go.
All right.
Yeah, this is actually something that Locatelli always says you can't put. So you just want to make sure you put in plenty.
All right. Mm-hmm. And
now the funny thing is that sometimes people drink wine when they're making risotto, but you have to be careful because sometimes people say a little for the chef, a little for the pot, and then you can be in trouble. So just, I don't know if that would happen to you, Matt, do you think?
What do you mean?
Drinking too much wine as you're cooking?
I don't cook that much, so yeah.
Okay.
All right, yeah.
Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to put it up a little bit.
All right. Let me just be a little bit more aggressive. Mm-hmm. But I always am kind of cautious when it comes to, like, doing stuff like this.
That's good.
Mostly because of my inexperience.
Yeah,
so that's
nice. Now, the other thing I was going to mention with arborio, why it's a special kind of grain, is that there's amylopectin on the outside and amylose on the inside. So what we're doing when the amylopectin on the outside of the grain cracks or breaks, then it creates a creaminess that we associate with risotto.
Nice. So the end product is going to be a creamy look? That's
right. It's going to be creamy rice. And as a matter of fact, Italians do not use any other kind of rice. When you say rice, to them it means arborio. It means risotto. They don't eat rice, like white rice or rice the way that other cultures eat rice. They eat rice as risotto.
Okay.
Arborio.
Gotcha.
And they have actually different kinds of rice as well, but we won't get into all that.
Yeah. We can do that for like a special episode or something.
All right. Okay. So now it's time to put in the chicken broth. And so we will ladle it lovingly into the pot and stir it as your arborio absorbs the liquid. Then we'll continue on.
All right. So how do I ladle it lovingly?
Well, okay. So lovingly, you would just pour it gently.
Okay. All right. So
with love.
All right. I don't know how to love. I mean, I don't know how to love in terms of like cooking, but
In Australia, they call food, if you try something and if you like it, you say it's beautiful.
Ah.
So you'll taste something at the risotto and you say, this is beautiful.
Mm.
See, I like that. Okay.
All right.
Perfect. So now,
more of this?
no, you can go ahead with that
All
wooden
right.
spoon and start stirring.
All right.
Beautiful. That
So, yep, as she's advised, I'm going to be stirring. This is going to be a lot of stirring, just like I said before. It's going to be Can I Cook It Stirring Edition. So, how's the process with this going?
Yeah, it looks like you're doing a really beautiful job there.
All right.
And you can tell because it's absorbing the liquid little by little. So you don't want to have the pot full of liquid. You want it to absorb it along the way.
So, Dr. Heidi, also, just so I could, help my friends, get their name out there, what is that jewelry that you're wearing?
Oh, well, thanks for asking. So, this piece is one of a kind, and it's created by Sable Floyd. We call this design Coral Fire, and it's made with glass and coral beads, and she's actually launching her own jewelry line, and we're having the summer collection coming out soon, so you'll be hearing about that. Thanks.
Nice, cool. And so, is there anything else that we have to do so far?
Well, I think it's time to add a bit more broth.
More broth, huh? But you said, we don't want to be filling with liquid. We just want to make sure it gets absorbed, correct?
That's right.
All right.
So you can stir a little bit. There you go.
All right. So what's the end product going to look like?
The end product, we'll start tasting it along the way.
All right.
But it should be creamy.
Mm-hmm.
It shouldn't have too much of a crunch to it.
Okay.
Too much of a bite. And we're going to be adding the butter and the Parmesan cheese and the salt. Nice.
Okay, cool. So here's a sample of what we made so far. I'm going to be testing the taste, so you can explain to me what needs to be done.
Mm-hmm.
A little firm.
Does it have a bite to it?
Still has a bite to it.
Okay. So now I think we will start adding the Parmesan and some salt and continue with the broth.
All right.
Okay.
How many pinches of salt are we talking about?
Quite a bit. Maybe 4.
1?
Because it's a lot of herb for it.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
But then we will also, some of the salt will come from the Parmesan.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And then continue with adding a bit more broth.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. Lovingly, right?
Lovingly.
Of course. 2 more? Oh, another one?
Another one.
Yeah.
All
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then you can, I was going to say,
yeah.
stir it a little bit faster. There.
All right.
In a circle. That's it.
All right. And make sure it doesn't stick on the pot as well, right? The liquid helps with that, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
You're doing a perfect job.
Thank you. As someone who hasn't done this before, I appreciate the compliment. So, what's next?
I think you can start adding the Parmesan.
How much?
This is beautiful Parmesan. And as you described last week, well, there's a certain area of Italy that's known for its Parmesan cheese. Do you remember the name of that one?
Parmigiano Reggiano? Okay. Is that like the location name?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
So how much cheese are we adding?
Why don't you do a quarter of that? You can and I think you can just pour it, dump it.
All right. All right. I'll do a quarter of it. Are we going to eventually put all of it in here?
Yes.
All right. But it has to be in segments.
Yes.
All right. So it has a cheesy taste to it, right?
Mm-hmm. And now if you would be doing, adding the vegetables, that would already be in there by now. So right now it's just a matter of adding the cheese, adding the broth, and at the end we're going to add butter, cold butter, and that's called Manta Cadura.
Okay. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and as Dr. Heidi mentioned, I'm going to add some Parmesan cheese, the rest of it. Just put it here, and then do some more stirring, and we'll see how things are going with the end product. Eventually, we'll do the cold butter next, and she'll tell us more about what happens after that. And finally, we add the cold butter, right?
Yes.
All right, I'll add all of this in.
Mm-hmm.
Why do we have to have it cold and compared to anything? compared to anything else?
Because it really helps with the bringing out the starch and the cream
Okay.
to make it creamy.
The coldness actually helps with that
It
aspect?
does, and then you can stir it vigorously.
Okay, vigorously. All right. Not really good with vigorous, but sure.
And you can turn off the, I'll turn off.
All right, sure thing. Thank you. Yep.
And you can stir in a circle vigorously.
Yes, of course. I always had difficulty doing that, you know.
And what do you notice about the consistency?
Well, it definitely looks like it's more creamier, you know, in a sense. I mean, it has the look of it, you know what I mean?
Yes. You can feel it too?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it has the look of it, you know. Taste, we'll just see how that goes when we taste it for the final part.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, we actually finished with all the stirring and stuff like that. We actually have the risotto ready. You want to try it?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right.
You do the honors.
Do the honors, but you're the guest.
Oh,
Let's taste it at the same time. How
All
about
right,
that?
that's perfect. Let's
All
try that. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Wow. Very different from what I tasted earlier.
I was going to say, it's amazing, isn't it? How it changes at the very end.
Yeah, especially with the Parmesan.
And now, see, can you imagine it if you had other ingredients, mushrooms? And so that's why today we'll put vegetables on the side. We'll have some chicken because, as I mentioned, not everybody wants the vegetables in the risotto. But you can see that it would be really tasty, can't you?
Yeah. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah,
thank
sure.
you. And thank you for watching Can I Cook It? We cooked the risotto. And I wish you to like, subscribe, or share this video if you're able to. There'll be more videos in the future, and I'm glad and hope you join this journey with us. Thank you for being in Can I Cook It, and see you around.